He said, she said. The title of my message today. Were I to open with a prayer, it would be that you might find comfort, or meaning, or encouragement in my words, and in the words of others. Amen. Something like the first time I came to know Scott and Greta, or came to this church, I was somewhat larger than I am today, about twice the size, in fact. And I've had a wonderful journey with Weight Watchers for about 10 years that has seen me find whatever it is I needed to find within myself to say, okay, time to take care of myself. As I reached the end of a stage in my life's journey and got to what Weight Watchers said was a satisfactory weight, I was very thankful for the opportunity to have been on that journey and for the people that had shared their journeys with me while I traveled mine. And two things have come out of that. First, I continue to go to Weight Watchers every week because the underlying issue that I dealt with that got me to 375 pounds has not gone away. It won't. And I need encouragement, support, accountability to contend with it. But I also now facilitate at a Weight Watchers meeting. And each and every week at the end of my 35 or 40 minutes with my group in Beaverton, I try and find a quote. The object being that if something that has been said within the context of Weight Watchers and watching how many avocados you eat each day has not quite resonated with someone in my group, I hope that there will be something in the quote, a ribbon that I try and put around the package that lets each and every person go away thinking, okay, I got a message, I got something that will support me for the week. That's the he said, she said. There'll be the quotes. Here are a couple of questions for you to ponder just for a second at the beginning of my meditation that I often ask of my Weight Watchers just to help them come right into the very specific moment. And the questions are these, and always the same. I'll change them to frame this building. What brought you to West Hill the very first time you came through that door? Don't need to tell me or your neighbor, just tell yourself, remind yourself. And what brought you through that door this morning? Just think about that. What I find when I come through these doors is empathy. Not sympathy, but I find great empathy. And that's the magic of Weight Watchers group for me as well. There's great empathy. There's a very much a sense of common understanding and common purpose. There, I've just tied in the first hymn. Common vision. And for that I'm grateful, because there is in that room, as there is in this room today, there is no one here with a unique experience. Our experiences colored by ourselves and perhaps finely illustrated by ourselves, but they are common stories, and the empathy that lies here lies because we understand and we share with one another. Not only you who come here each Sunday, but me who comes here from time to time, and I find precisely the same thing in the shared moments of prayer, or in the shared moment of a handshake at the beginning of the service, or a greeting with Scott, or a hug from this lovely lady. There is an empathy that exists here. And then I close my meetings with that quote that will give us a sending forth. Here's my first quote for today. We consider you an extension of who we are and what we are about. We would be honored if you would lead us in a service. Those were John's words to me in an email that confirmed my coming today. I'm honored. This is a privilege for me and a pleasure. Please find what you will in these words from mouths much wiser than mine. He said, she said. And I promise that I won't give you, from time to time I do this at Weight Watchers, and I'll leave them if they need something really funny to say. A waist is a terrible thing to mind. They like that one. They also like dieting as the penalty for exceeding the feed limit. Not bad reminders if we want to put those in place, but Newt Gingrich, I'll tell you who said each of these words as they come by. Perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. Perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. The reminder for me, find what you will, the reminder for me is that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. We speed up from time to time. We slow down from time to time. But perseverance is the hallmark of this journey. I don't know much about Newt Gingrich, but I like the words. Here's an African proverb. I wrestle with this one a little bit, but it gives me something to gnaw away at. Don't look where you fall, but where you slipped. Does that mean learn the little lessons? Does that mean don't sweat the big stuff, and by the way, there's no big stuff? I'm not quite sure what that means, but it gives me pause to think from time to time, where did I make a little mistake? And if I tidy up that little left-hand turn, will things get better? It also puts me in mind as a retailer, one of the things that retailers are awful at is saying, what did I do right because that moment, event, season was so successful? Retailers are far more inclined to look at a season that hasn't been all that good and say, oh, what did I do wrong? When in fact, if we have a look at what we did right, when things are at their very best, that learning and wisdom will take us a step forward. Don't look where you fall, but where you slipped. Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. To see a change, make a change. Nothing's so sure as change. If things don't change, they'll stay precisely as they are. Where's our control? Well, our control lies in a circle that's just about this big. But if we don't like something, change it out there in here. If you can't change it, change your attitude. A little stern? I don't think we suffer for hearing a stern word from time to time. Dr. Seuss for the child in all of us. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I find that we divide ourselves in so many ways into A or B. In this moment, I'm thinking about we divide ourselves into people who catch everything that comes at us and those who deflect everything that comes at us. I think Dr. Seuss is telling me, don't be a catcher. Don't hold on to the stuff that's hurtsome to hold on to. Deal with it. Do what you have to with it. Get rid of it. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Lionel Hampton. Can you picture Lionel Hampton standing at the vibraphone making absolutely spectacular music? These words from him. Gratitude is when memory is stored in the heart and not in the mind. Gratitude is when memory is stored in the heart and not in the mind. Give thanks for the simple things. They're all around you each and every day. A smile, a hand offered, a song whistled quietly. Wonderful things are around us all the time. Be thankful for the little things, and not gratuitously, by the way. A thank you that's offered to somebody who's just served you a cup of coffee in a restaurant. If you don't mean it, they'll know that. But be thankful. Gratitude is when memory is stored in the heart and not in the mind. Oprah Winfrey. What would he said, she said be without a word from Oprah? Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. My brother-in-law often wont to say, he who dies with the most toys wins, and he fully intends to win. I suspect I lived my life by that axiom for a while. I'm not so sure that I do now. I can assure you that I am most certainly and most completely thankful for those things that I have as close to me as my wife and my daughter, even closer still, my health. Not so much further afield, friends. And I do not use that word lightly. And I do my best to concentrate on those, not the things that I don't have. Here's the first one I ever used at Weight Watchers. Sir Edmund Hillary. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. Mount Everest. One way and another, everyone in this room can get to the top of Mount Everest. They will not have conquered the mountain. They will have conquered themselves. Now, remove Mount Everest and put in there those words that were in your hearts when prayers were being said and thought of. That which you wrestle with and struggle with today, you will find within yourself to conquer if you just conquer yourself. Swedish proverb. I think of Babette and of myself this morning, but I think also of my wife who 2 weeks ago stood in front of our congregation up in Beaverton and sang. She's never sung before a group of people before, and she sang one of Scott's songs, and it was wonderful. This is a Swedish proverb. Those who wish to sing always find a song. Those who wish to sing always find a song. What lies behind it? This is Henry S. Haskins. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. There's a lot of focus in my comments about what lies in this very small circle. And there are words that you say each Sunday that say you cannot rely entirely on what lies within that very personal space, and that's true. But that personal space needs to be as right as it can be. You need to be as comfortable with yourself as you can be before you can reach out and give and find comfort and solace and justice and empathy and love. Please take a moment to quietly reflect on my words as I spoke them to you and as you heard them. I often say to my Weight Watchers group, by way of questioning, what do you want to have happen? What needs to happen? What can you do? What will you do? He said. She said.